This is John McCormick from Energetic Leadership, and I'm here again with Lucas Michael, MD of Agility Insights. Lucas, how are you this morning?
Thank you. Perfect, John.
Good to be speaking with you again, and I know we've been continuing our conversation, and I wanted to bring in this topic and pick your brain a little bit. This social media has been kind of alive with this conversation about Generation X versus Generation Y, and I thought maybe you could tell us the difference between the two, give us some insight into it, and how people can begin to kind of wrap their head around the benefits or the distinction between the two. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect to me.
Great. Well, let's start. Well, what is Generation X? What do we mean when we say Generation X and Generation Y?
Yeah. See, my general interest is in corporate leadership. So this is the question about how do you actually manage an organization for the people of today. And this is a discussion that always comes up. You know, what generation are we in? What is reality? And what is what we actually know?
Yes.
The most common distinction to make is to actually look at who people are or what their needs are. And the distinction we are making is between the Generation X and the Generation Y type people. So to give you an example of the difference, let's look at employees and let's look at leadership as the response to it. Okay. So first, let's look at the industrial age people, which is the Generation X. Essentially, Generation X assumes, or managers assume, or have an image of mankind that employees essentially don't do anything out of their own. They are measured and evaluated. They need leadership.
Yes.
They want or need structures to work in. Essentially, they are relieved from their weaknesses. This is the entire story around people development in organizations here.
That's right.
So what's the leadership response to this Generation X? The response is, we as leaders are in control. We control stuff. We evaluate, decide. We set the rules. We motivate. We have all the answers. We educate, and we are responsible to take charge of things.
So it's really the mindset that we know better.
That's actually the mindset that most of us, kind of older generation, are grown up with. So that's kind of Generation X. Now, in contrast, I'll give you just the same kind of thing in the Y type. Okay. So today's generation, the knowledge type people, employees take charge. They want to contribute. They want to grow, they want to participate, they act, they behave purposefully, they're motivated and responsible per se. So it's a very different view of people. So the question then is, what is a leadership response to that?
Yes.
That fits that style? It's a leadership style that shapes the environment, that supports creativity, that asks questions, that delegates, and relates people.
Yes.
So you see that response is a very different one, and it comes across totally different. Now, my point is that if we assume that today's work is knowledge work, and we have actually people, Y generation type people in our businesses, then we should not leave it to the individual leader to kind of lead differently. My point is we should organize in line with the needs of Generation Y people, but also the leaders that manage these people here. Maybe to contrast, to make it very practical, what I'm saying is, let's assume that modern people want to understand, create, contribute, achieve, and do right.
Yes.
Kind of the full spectrum of self-responsible people. Now, if I take the first thing out, which is the understanding, what do we actually see in most organizations? We have hurdles like the lack of information. If you do an employee survey, then essentially what you always get as number one topic is leaders don't communicate and we don't have a clue what is going on. So it's they're claiming the lack of information. This is because most of the relevant information is at the top. On the other hand, we are in an information generation. We're in an information industry. So information should actually be readily available, and it actually is. It does not make sense to cut off people's PCs from social media.
Yes.
Modern work requires all of that here. So while actually using those technologies, it helps to give people feedback where their work is being done, provide them with information on their own performance such that they can act very quickly, act on that information and take charge. This, of course, requires information systems that are on people's desks and not at the top of the management hierarchy.
Yes. Would you say, Lucas, that the information, the Generation Y, the information generation is moving faster than the development of current leadership? Is that why we're getting this lag?
You see, I'm in this business for almost 25 years now. And I remember in the earlier years that we had exactly the same discussions.
Yes.
But here we are now 25 years later, and we still have discussions. So what I'm seeing is that many organizations actually haven't kept up with their way of managing, their way of their management model, their managerial systems,
yes,
of catering towards the Generation Y people. I would actually go that far as saying today's organizations should be built for people and not for clients. If there is something of a trade-off that we have to make.
Yes, yeah. No,
if we're building organizations that cater towards knowledgeable people, they will automatically take care of your clients, and you will have a client-centric approach, kind of as a freebie going forward here.
Yes.
So my take is things haven't changed much. And my take is also that organizations could be far more innovative, far more creative, could actually grow better if they would kind of steer their managerial systems towards their people and not towards primarily their managers or whatever for. Sometimes it's questionable why one does budgeting in organizations. Sometimes, to me, it's questionable why you manage detailed MBO type processes to control people. That's all stuff that isn't necessary when we work with knowledgeable people.
No, I see that. And here's the other question I have is, do you think this is the information age, the Generation Y age, is a result of the internet?
I think it has helped. It has helped, but more than that, it's not the people that change. It's the requirements of work that has changed.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is today we have far more service industries. People don't work at the weaving loom, making sure that it runs to full productivity. People do service in a hotel. People train other people. People do PC type knowledge work here. So the amount of work we have today, amount of products and services out there are much more that require knowledge work as compared to the physical type work. It will never disappear, the physical work. That's always necessary. But even that has become a piece of very well-educated people. So what I'm saying is, it's not the people that have changed. It's the needs of the jobs, or the jobs themselves have changed, and people have adapted to it. But my claim is that most organizations haven't kept up with the design of the work and the design we manage these organizations.
Yes.
Yes, and the internet has helped. Internet has made relationships, collaboration, purposeful, as it's kind of purpose finding, much easier. Yes. Because you can connect outside your own organization. You can bring in knowledge into your organization. You can disseminate knowledge in a much better way. So in a sense, it's a fantastic time today.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a little bit of catching up to do.
That's what that point would be, absolutely.
Great. Lucas, I think that's it. I really appreciate your time today. I'll let you get back at it, and we shall speak again soon.
Thank you.